How do you adjust someone's back? Now this depends on terms of what you mean by adjust, but if we take adjust in meaning that you're moving them from a position that they're at to a position that they're in, then that takes time. If you're talking about the manipulation of the spine, so adjusting spinal joints to relieve tension, etc., or increase mobility, that can happen relatively quickly, and that is a technique. That could be a manipulation in particular, which they're commonly called, or they're also known as high velocity, low amplitude thrusts, and they typically make a click noise. You can also use various instruments to achieve the same end, which a lot of patients tend to prefer because it involves less erratic movements. For example, the neck manipulations in particular, they involve a lot of twisting, and same with the lower back movement. It involves a bit of maneuvering the patient around, which sometimes isn't that easy to relax, especially the first time it's being done. So that's the short-term adjustment. The proper sort of adjustment to the spine is basically looking at the position that the spine is in at present in the patient. And this is something that we do here, and then setting up a plan of action to adjust them back towards normal. And that will include adjustments to the spine directly, mechanically. That will include various elements of traction at home and sometimes in the clinic as well. And that will also include some appropriate exercise rehabilitation. It then pivotally involves reassessing, and we do that here using spinal imaging. You can't really assess a joint to know that it's been adjusted by just pressing it or touching it again, because you didn't assess where it was at the start and you didn't assess where it was at the finish, so you're not really adjusting anything there, to be frank. You must take objective measurements if you're truly adjusting the spine. Otherwise, you're just really loosening it off. Other professionals in this profession, as osteopaths and chiropractors, will have differing opinions on that, but to my mind, you only really know you've adjusted something if you know it's moved, and you only know that if you've identified where it was and where it now is, and that there's a difference between the two. It's very difficult to argue otherwise. So that's really what an adjustment is, fundamentally, when you take it in that way.